In the following video, I will show you one of the most dangerous openings in chess. With this opening you can potentially win in just 8 moves. The video will be split in 2 parts. First we will look at White's perspective, and then we focus on some tricky lines Black can use to gain the upper hand. It starts off with e4, e5, knight, f3, knight c6, and then bishop c4, the Italian game. For this opening to work it is necessary that Black plays knight to f6, as it blocks the queen from controlling g4, which is where we want to put our knight. This way we attack the f7 pawn 2 times, and if Black does not pay attention, we immediately gain material. The only playable move here is to block with the pawn. We take that pawn, and in case Black takes back we sacrifice our knight. However, we win back said knight with the move queen f3. Black may decide to get his king away from the middle of the board, but this leads to his loss. If he decides to protect his knight with the king, you have to add another attacker. Black plays knight b4 and we castle to bring the rook to the center. You do not have to be worried about knight c2, as you would just capture the knight. So Black involves another defender. We want to open up the position with pawn to d4. Another variation is to place the knight at e7. Here we strike immediately in the center. We trade knights, and if he does not play 100% correct he loses his queen. This is the right way to deal with this situation. If your bishop gets kicked out you either send him to d3 or to e2. However, queen to f3 is another curveball you can throw. Ignoring the threat and playing bishop c5 is known as the Fried Liver Attack. I will upload a video on it shortly. Here Black sacrifices his bishop to check the king with the knight and bring out the queen. If your opponent takes e4, you have to take with the bishop. Then if he gets greedy you end up winning the queen. Now let's come to the part where we look at some traps Black can lay out for White here. Instead of playing knight f5 you play b5. Then you take back in the center with the queen. After bishop c5 you have amazing development. If the knight tries to annoy your queen, threaten checkmate. Castling bishop b7 and bringing the rooks to the middle are further ideas for Black here. In case your opponent trades the pieces you can kick out the knight on g5, get your pieces developed and castle. Another idea White may have is attacking the pawn on b5 twice. Here you attack the queen and then you mess up his pawn structure. We take the d5 pawn and trade knights. If White wants to take another pawn, we take g7. In case of White playing queen to f3, and then bishop to c6 to fork the rook, and the knight, we let White take the rook. This also prepares rook e8, which White wants to prohibit by playing bishop to c6. We attack the queen with our pawn and then play e8 anyways. White has to block with the queen and we fork her and the king with our knight. The right move would have been castling, however the game is not lost yet. If White plays d3 to attack the queen, with the bishop we play knight f4 threatening checkmate. To prevent that White plays g3, and we mate him with knight to h3. If your opponent does not respond with knight f6 you have to play the Italian game. Here is how to do that.